Hey guys, what is up? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 and we'll get rocking and rolling here. Get this show on the road, baby. You know what I'm screaming? That's right, 5 for 5 there. Hey, what's up, Seven Son? Good to see you. Hey, Tab, I'm so sorry to hear about your loss, guys. We need to give Tab some prayers. She buried one of her friends, her best friend today. Thoughts and prayers for you, Tab. For real. Okay? So we're just going to kind of jump into it, guys. I don't have a whole lot of time for a stream tonight. I just wanted to get this in quick and get going here. So what are we looking at here? Schumann Resonance. Obviously, yeah, we see it. But there's nothing going on, guys. Again, everything just seems to be pretty quiet with the resonance. Nothing's really jumping around at all. And like I say every stream, this is a regional tool, so don't look at one tool only. If you're going to look at things and try to put it into a global aspect, you really got to look at all of them. And that's actually kind of difficult to get done, just to be honest with you. Now, it's not to say that we can look at some of these and point to something that might be affecting us, but as of right now, nothing really is going on. So, as far as that goes. Something else I want to mention real quick. From now on, I am going to address the thumbnail topic right at the beginning, okay? I want you guys to get that because I understand people got 10, 15 minutes most of the time. And when you see my live streams, they're like an hour long. What happens is, after I do the space weather report, which is usually, anywhere between 15, 20, sometimes 30 minutes long, everything after that is just me talking to people. So I want to respect people's time. So that is the new format here. I've been trying to do that, but I haven't been too successful with it. So I am going to make sure that I concentrate on that to the point where if I feel myself getting squirrely again, I need my mods to say, hey, squirrel, stop it, and I'll just put the chat away. That's what I'm going to have to do. So, but anyway, so just let me get going. Hey, Tommy, what's up? See, already did it. I'm putting the chat away. My mods are good. I'm putting it away. You guys know what you're doing. So, all right. Now, I put in the thumbnail, is this thing arriving early? The CME from the M-class flare we had. Now, I already showed you guys yesterday it's definitely going to hit us. I don't see how it can miss. I really don't. I've never been as confident in saying that as I am with this one, because it really looks like it's coming right at us. I mean, now it doesn't, and I've also fielded some questions in the comment section. Guys, I say it every video, don't fear anything, any of this. It's not to be fearful. It's just really not. If there's ever a time where you need to be fearful, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to tell you that. I'm not going to just put it out there like that. I had a question and it kind of bothered me because it made me feel like I might have been doing something wrong. Somebody asked me, should they, be concerned because they were getting an MRI on Monday morning when this thing was supposed to be hitting. And I was, it kind of, it took me back a little bit. I don't want people to think that. Don't ever try to change your medical procedures for anything space weather. Okay? It's just not what you should do. Ever. Okay? And that's pretty much what I said in the comment and I replied. So, guys, I've been, accused of fear mongering and stuff the whole time I've been on the internet. I don't, that actually just blows right over my head anymore. I don't really care about that. But the fact that somebody took it like that, I don't think I presented it that way. I try not to. So please, if you've ever had those questions before, don't ever do that. Okay? Just don't. So, it really bothered me. Obviously, that's why I'm talking about it. Because it would just be, yeah. Anyway, so is this thing hitting us early? Well, let's discuss that for a second. And what do I mean by early? It's just a few hours if it is hitting early. And that's what I'll say to that. Now, remember, there's a plus minus 7 hour window there anyway. So if we're going to say it's going to hit early, then it's got to be earlier than 7 hours, really, if you really want to think about it. Why does that even matter if it hits early or not? Well, typically if it's moving faster than what they thought, sometimes it can give us a little bit harder of a hit. Because that's part of what hits us is the speed of it. So, and that's why we talk about those kinds of things. Sorry, my mouth was getting dry. I need to take a drink here real quick. But yeah, so that's why I would even bring it up. If you look at their forecasting, remember this is UTC time, so we're in this first part of the day now. And this is why I thought maybe this might be hitting early, not to mention that the Discover data is showing an increase in wind speed and density already. Okay? It's not really all that significant yet, but it definitely is. It did take a little bit of a jump right here at the same time as that density did. Or as this is showing a KP of 4. Okay? So is it arriving early? Maybe, maybe not. They did forecast a 3, this next one, but the one before this, they were only forecasting, I believe, a 2. So this did jump up quite quickly. And if you look at the magnetopause, our magnetopause actually reacted too. So let's take a look at that real quick. So I'm wondering if this thing just didn't hit early. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but regardless, it's not going to change a whole lot of things. It's just it may hit us a little bit hard. We may get to that G2. Because there was some question whether it was going to be a G1, G2. I guess there may be an outside chance. I don't see it hitting a G3. I guess it could if it hits us really like right on the nose. And if it arrives early, I guess maybe. But even at that, guys, what can we expect? And I've shown you guys this a bunch lately, but we can expect increased aurora and things like that. There were, if you go down towards mid latitudes, as you start getting into G2 storm levels, the auroras will go closer to the equator, typically. And I seen spaceweather.com, we'll just go there real quick while I'm talking about it, was actually talking about that specific thing, talking about how if you drew a line from New York to Oregon, that's the latitude line that it could actually creep down to. Now, none of that's exact because, our magnetic field is not consistent anyway. So there's a whole lot of variables that come into play. And that's why it's really, really hard just to say, hey, this is exactly what's going to happen, because most likely it's going to be a little bit askew. So, and that's why, that's why those plus minus 7 hours are built into those things. So that, we just got to kind of recognize that and roll with it. But yeah, so that's what's going on with that. Now, we'll take a look at this again, but there was another flare right here. Now, this one here was not Earth directed. This one here actually went off the side. There was actually a couple of them, like after we had this M-class flare, there was actually a pretty good size one that blew off right after that off the side. It wasn't coming at us. I don't even think we got any kind of increased X-ray from it. It was far enough behind the limb that it didn't come at us. So that's why I didn't really talk about it much. I showed it to you guys yesterday where the atmosphere of the sun kind of was disturbed a little bit. You could see it on the eastern limb, which would be the right side when you're talking about the sun. So, yeah, we've seen that. But I'll show it. Well, it might still be here on this. It might not. This is the GOES satellite, guys. This is 195 angstrom. The ones we typically look at is SDO, and that's a 193 angstrom. This is a little bit different of a wavelength there, but this is the one GOES shows you. And if you guys ever go over to the website, they got the same cameras just like they got on the other ones. So this is coming from a different position. Now you can kind of see right there, that was that C-class flare, the end of it. We'll take a deeper look at that here in just a second on a different tool. But you can see here too, we're out, here's that sunspot. Yes, that's a sizable sunspot, okay? But, even though they're big, does not necessarily mean they're going to be active. They have to have friends to play with. So, and this one ended up getting some friends, and that's why we had what we had. But, again, and this was a full halo, which really, in essence, what that means is it's coming right at us. It's sizable enough. It just looked like a halo on the coronagraphs. That's why they call it that. It's a visual representation of what you're seeing, and they use that word for it to describe it. Nothing more than that. Okay, because I know when we use words like that, sometimes your mind goes different places, and we don't want it to really, because it's not is what would be correct. Now this is the absorption of the X-ray, and as you're seeing here, the flares will show up. See it? That's that C-class flare. I believe it was a C2, if I'm correct. And the reason why it's showing up here is because that's the day side of the planet when the flare hit. Okay? And again, guys, yes, I know we had earthquake in Hawaii today. It was a 6, I think it came in at a 6.2. And again, I know we always question whether or not space weather can have an effect on that. I think that it can, but I can't point to one specific thing and say, hey, that happens. So that's why, it's hard to say things like that, because so many things cause earthquakes, and we just don't simply understand all of them yet. So I think that this, space weather kind of takes a little bit of a back burner to that until they figure out everything else. Whether or not that should be the case, but that's actually what's happening. So, I do think, and I think even most people, even, the educated scientists and stuff, they actually think that too. It's just they're trying to get to a point where they can study it enough and get enough data in to be able to be completely precise with it. Or at least confident enough to say, hey, yeah, that really did affect it. We can always look at stuff, and we can pinpoint stuff and say here, there, and everywhere. But at the same time, we got to understand that, space weather is not the only factor involved. And, most likely, most of the time, especially with seismic activity, there's so many things involved. That's why it's so difficult to start adding this stuff in specifically. That's my point. That's all. But I do believe it does affect it. Now, how much or how little or whatever, that's the discussion, I think, really. So, as we're looking at this, again, this is Discover data. You got the density here. It jumped up to 30, kind of popped back down. But what you notice here, okay, you see a little bit of a spike in solar wind. Now, sometimes we'll get that, a lot of times we do get it, almost every time, really. You get that buildup in front of a CME. That is what happens typically. So that might be what we're seeing here. But it did jump up quite a bit. When the KP goes up to 4, almost in the storm level, got pretty close there. Now, whether or not this next one, I don't think it has got there yet. Because if it did, a lot of times, you see this box here on NOAA? That's their prediction, okay? So that would be by the 11th. That would match up with what's going on here. But sometimes they'll put the latest observed. So if it did get into storm level, even for just a short amount of time, they would light this box up. And it's not lit up yet. So I don't think we've got there yet. So that's just, yeah. And there's other places we can go look at the KP. Pretty real-time stuff. Not exactly real-time, but close enough for us for what we need. So, but anyway, the BZ, yes, it jumped down into -6 right there. Didn't stay there very long, but it did. So, and it looks like it's variable right now. It's not really like staying very stable. So, we'll just leave it at that. But again, it does look like we're getting the uptick. I think this is probably the beginning of this solar storm getting ready to hit us. So I wanted to address that right out in the front, like I promised you guys, the thumbnail. So, but let's take a look at the magnetopause here too, because this really does show that something did start impacting. You'll see our magnetic field actually reacts before it gets here. Okay, you'll see it. It'll push out. Watch. See that? We pushed out and then it hit. We sense it. Our magnetic field senses it, and it pushes out a little bit typically. And then you'll get what they call compression and rapid expansion. It'll compress it, and then we'll push back hard enough that it'll rapidly expand out the other direction. And it becomes a cycle like that until something's consistently winning, I guess, if you want to put it in those terms. But again, let me show you something here too. This is density. Remember, this is not representing the bow shock. You can definitely tell there's a difference. This is speed. This is density only. So all that means is the particles are the same density in front and behind the bow shock at that point. Okay, that's all that means. So please don't listen to anybody if they're going to tell you the bow shock went down. I've addressed that so many times, and I still hear people saying that from time to time. Yeah. And you wonder why we get accused of fear-mongering. It's that stuff that does it. But anyway, you got pressure here. Obviously, everybody understands this one. We all understand what pressure is. This is magnetic pressure. Notice we do have quite a bit of it just hanging around right now. Okay, even before we start with this impact. So that actually might even come into play here. It may increase our conditions a little bit. Don't know, but that is a possibility. So you can see how we start adjusting. And there's that first initial hit right there. And there was small ones after that. So I really don't know exactly what caused that first initial little hit. Does it really matter? Well, it only matters in the sense that it probably did add a little extra geomagnetism right now. And so whatever's going to hit us with this CME coming definitely could increase it just a little bit. Not much, but it could. This is geoelectric field model. This is space weather's effect on our unnatural electrical components. Basically, aka our power grid. I mean, that's really what this is for if you break it down very basically. You got a one-dimensional model on the right, three-dimensional model that's still kind of in development, which is why you're not seeing anything here on the bottom. You'll also notice on the three-dimensional one, especially, you'll see that it's higher in higher populated areas, and that's because there's more artificial electrical components there. That's why that does that. So we'll run this through, and I'm not seeing nothing really like way out off the top here, okay? I'm seeing a little bit of, just a little increase in activity, okay? Honestly, that's all that, like right there, okay? So, and then there. That's probably the hardest, and that's probably when, what's the timestamp on that? Yep. Well, no, it's not. Okay. Well, that's not matching up with the space, with the KP. That actually happened after this did. Okay. So whatever's hitting us there happened after that. So maybe it is hitting early. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and watch it, guys. That's all. Okay, so, that definitely was an uptick there, though. I haven't heard any kind of, like, conditions or anything like that of people having any kind of issues yet. But you can see, like I said, you go over here to New York, you draw a line to Oregon, right? That's where they're expecting, if we get a G2, where we could see auroras down that far. So that's kind of what we're saying here. And then if conditions get even heavier than that, they can get down here. We've seen them down. I mean, you get the bigger ones. I mean, they've even seen them on the equator during the big, huge storms. But those are few and far between. I don't want to even go there tonight. Don't have enough time to talk about that. It's definitely something that's, and again, we expect some of those big storms every solar cycle. So, just because we get the storms doesn't necessarily mean that a few of them aren't expected, because they are. So anyway, you got your auroras here. And again, what timestamp is that? That's 2:45. Let's look at that on this. That's at 2:34. So yeah, I mean, this next aurora, when it updates, it may show it getting down a little bit further, which is cool. Auroras are awesome, guys. I love aurora. I mean, it really is. They're really, it's really cool stuff. So, yeah, and then you got the south hemisphere here. Okay. So we'll look at seeds. We will go back and look at the halo that I was just explaining to you guys. There were, there were other flares, but they were going on this. They were off over here. Okay, so none of the new ones are actually popping off our direction right now. It seems like that bigger sunspot I showed you guys has stabilized out quite a bit, because it looks like the friends that it was playing with, looks like that's starting to decay a little bit. So we'll have to just keep an eye on it. But again, we'll pause this right when the halo happens. All right, now when I'm talking halo, it's just because it's full circle around this occulter. What's the occulter? It's an actual physical disc out there, guys, on the satellite that blocks the main part of the light of the sun, so this tool can do its job. If it wasn't there, we wouldn't get nothing. It would be so highly overexposed, you would see nothing but a white blank screen. So that's why that's there. Now this is not the surface, okay? This white circle over here is more so representative of what the actual size of the sun is. Okay, so notice how far out that occulter goes. But when you see this stuff around, it makes it look like a halo. Again, we don't know if it's coming right at us or going right off the back until we go look at other tools. And that's what we've already done. I went through that already with you guys. So you see a secondary one here. That actually came from that one I was showing you. Let's go to the next day because it actually popped off again. It actually was extremely bright on the red view. Watch over here. Over here on the right side. See that? It was a bright one. I have to give it that. It really was. I'll try to pause it here. We'll back it up some. When it first came off, it was really, really bright. See that? So, yeah. But that was not coming at us. So, just so you understand that right off the get. Just want to let you guys know that part. Okay. So, spaceweather.com. Well, let's go over here to the earthquakes real quick. Obviously, the big story right now, we're talking about Hawaii. They were talking about maybe the chance of it waking Kilauea up again. That's always a possibility. And I'll say it every time I talk about this. I am not the earthquake guy. Okay? So I'm just going to show it to you and tell you what the reports are. That's all I can do. I just don't have the knowledge background to even speak on it. So, but as you got this, you can see up here, a lot of people don't think that, this is normal to see the ones here so far north and south, but it is. Anywhere along these plate boundary lines, stuff is normal. It just happens. So, we all know that you can get earthquakes anywhere. Honestly, there's no place immune to them completely. I know we all like to think that there could possibly be some big magical place on Earth that it's like that. Yes, the chances are lower in certain areas than others. We get that too, but they can happen anywhere. So, yeah. So, let's go over here to spaceweather.com. Please go give them some love. I was thoroughly impressed with them going and retrieving that cosmic ray detector from that weather balloon. They did some work on that, going and picking that thing up just to get one data point. It was crazy. That's the lengths that they go to do this stuff. And man, that was awesome to hear. And it was great that they shared that with us, what they had to do to actually go get that. I thought it was pretty cool. But they're showing you the same thing. Okay, guys, this is LASCO C3. This is the same exact one I just showed you guys over here on SEEDS. This one. But this one's zoomed in. It's on the same spacecraft. Okay, it's on the same observatory, SOHO. So, it's just a zoomed out view. Notice how everything's smaller here. Again, this shows you physical disk 2. That's why that's there. That's the arm holding it. So, that's what that is. And if you go back enough in time in some of the archives, they will flip this stuff 180 degrees. They do that to increase the life of the lens, I believe, is why they do that. But yeah. And I also know that people were asking about, this asteroid cluster or whatever. Guys, I don't know much about it because I really haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't researched it at all. I read one article on it. And I get that sounds a little bit, scary or whatever, but don't be, because it's, from what I read, it's not even as what a few others have come out and just started screaming about. but I don't know. I haven't looked into it, so I'm not even going to speak on it. But I wanted to address that part to let you guys know that I'll go read some articles probably tonight, and I'll be able to give you my opinion on it after I do that. So just want to put that out there. But the near Earth objects, guys, they track them really well over here. This is, again, spaceweather.com. This is what they do. LD stands for lunar distance. That's the distance between us and the moon. Notice how everything's actually pretty good distance away from us. Nothing's really big as far as size and diameter. And I have to state this too, when they do miss these, okay, and they add them back into their graphs later on, most of the time they're pretty small. They're smaller than their average what they've got plotted. So, just kind of keep that in mind, how hard it would be to try to be able to think we could see everything. I understand what people say and all that, but man, it's got to be a hard job. It really does to try to see all of it. And I know we can't see it all. And I said this before, everybody's seen the movie Armageddon and what Billy Bob Thornton say in that movie. He said, "Begging your pardon, Mr. President, it's a big ass sky," right? Because they were trying to say, well, how did we miss this? Well, he kind of put it into words for everybody there, I think, because it really did. That actually kind of rang home with me. It's like, yeah, you know what? It kind of is. But just saying. Hey, IG, ain't seen you in a minute. 7, Verte. Okay, before I get squirrely again, let's keep moving. What we got here? Okay. This is, SDO. It is sitting out in front of our planet. It's not as close to the sun as SOHO is, but it is still in basically that same perspective from our view. And we'll take a look at the 211 angstrom here real quick. I'm just going to play it. So you'll see, I believe, this go back far enough? Yeah, I think it did for the M-class flare. Right there was the M-class flare. Now watch over here. Okay, because here's where the other one started popping off. See that? And I think it does it again, too, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was actually what looked to be a bigger one. And I think it actually gave us some X-ray. The next one did. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that one. That one gave us X-ray, I believe. But none of the CME or the plasma, that's going to affect us. Okay? It definitely ejected because we've seen it on SOHO, but it's not coming our direction. Okay? Just want to point that out. Let me refresh that, see what we got there. This is the 94. Now, if you're looking for like a pinpointed flare location, this, in my opinion, this is one of the better ones to look for because it'll show up really, really bright. Okay? So as I see that, that's that M flare. Okay, see how bright that got? Now watch up here. You're going to see all the rest of that happen. Okay, you even seen a little bit of plasma leave the sun there. See that? And then, yeah, see that one? See what I mean? See the difference? See, if you look at the 94 angstrom, you see how bright that got? You wouldn't even realize that was that much of a flare unless you did that. You can see, look at the plasma leaving. Look at that. And I have to say, that looks like it's moving quite quickly too. But, it's not coming our direction. Now, I know NASA's plotting that one now on their CME tracker, so we can take a look at that in just a second. We will definitely take a look at that right now. How about that? Let's do that. So yeah, see how it's going right off the side? I mean, it's almost 90 degrees. So that's not going to affect us in any way, shape, or form. So just kind of know that. But that did look to be kind of sizable. I'm not sure how powerful it was, but it even where that one was located, it still gave us enough X-ray to show up as a C-class flare. Okay? So, even though things are behind the limb, and let me explain what the limb is real quick. We'll just go back here to ISWA. But when we're looking at the sun, guys, you have to understand, east-west is actually reversed. I'm not going to get into why that still is. It's basically for data collection, really. They don't want to get it all jacked up and confuse a lot of people. They just decided a long time ago, before they really had a whole lot of data collection, that was going to be the east side, and that was going to be the west. North and south has always been the same, and it stayed the same. So just understand that. But even see how this is on the what would be the west or the right limb of the sun. See how it's actually behind that? Okay, and it still is able to give us enough X-ray to give us a C-class flare. So, that's substantial. I mean, most definitely substantial, guys. So, yeah. But, okay, so let's what we got here? Don't know. Okay. Guys, I did put up a poll about what you guys want to talk about. If you guys would go look at it. So if you would, just go take a second. How's that? How fast it's going, Ivy? 3:39. Okay. Yeah, guys, and when we're talking about kilometer, we're not talking about miles per hour here, guys. They measure those things in kilometers per second. Okay, I just want to point that out. It's a different unit of measurement. They have to do those things because things are we're talking in such a greater span of distance altogether. So yeah. And we're going to be talking about some few things, but please go check out that poll if you would. I probably should have clarified a little bit about what we were going to talk, what you guys want to talk about. I put, if you guys want to talk about the solar cycle, the moon, what was the other one I put on there? I believe it was CMEs, I believe. I'd have to go look, but I put 3 different subject lines there, okay? So I just want to know what you guys want to talk about, between those 3 subjects. And I'll try to bring you guys a little bit of info on those kinds of things. And we'll just go from there, So, yeah. See you, John. But, John, you kind of reminded me, guys, there's a guy, and I've been talking to you guys about him. Matter of fact, let's just go to his channel real quick. So I want you guys to see it, okay? And I do this, I don't really like showing other people's channel because I want everybody to go see it. Oh, yeah, I can. I forgot about that, Axe. Thanks for reminding me, man. I really did. I forgot about that. Well, like I said, guys, whatever you guys want to talk about, you don't have to put it in the chat. Go to my community post and vote. I've already had over 125 people vote. That's actually a substantial number. I didn't expect to get that many people voting already. So if you guys want to go vote on it, go vote on it. And when I'm talking about the moon, I'm not just talking about just normal stuff. We're going to go in depth about some subject lines there if we talk about that. There's lots of different stuff we can talk about when we're talking about the moon. And, yeah, so I've dug into all 3 of those subjects, just haven't really brought them to you guys in an in-depth way. So just understand that, but that's what that is. Now, let's go over here to Matthew Shipley's channel. Okay, and I want to show it to you guys because it's cool. It's a 24-hour live feed. Is what he's doing here, and he's showing you all different kinds of conditions. This will rotate to a picture of. I think he uses SDO, if I'm correct. So yeah, that's what you guys go check this out for real. He does a really good job. Look over here. He's scrolling USGS right here. So, yeah. And by the way, with that earthquake in Hawaii, there were no tsunamis. Okay, nothing significant on that end of it. Because I know that's what a lot of people really want to know. Because that really is one of the biggest threats when we're talking about seismic activity. And, I have learned to use that word seismic activity other than just saying volcanic eruptions. Oh, good. Look, it changed. Awesome. So this is what you're going to get over there, right? If you just want conditions and current conditions, I mean, look what he's done with that end little spiral. Look at that graphic he's using. It's cool. I mean, you know, it just is. And another one that he does, he's kind of playful with it a little bit too. He has this little astronaut out there floating around and stuff. It's pretty cool stuff. You know, so if you just need like data and stuff, go over here and give this man some love. He definitely does a good job. It's a really good setup. He's even got all the angstroms of light over here, so you understand what's going on. Notice how when we're talking about light, it's the distance of the wavelength between one wave to the other. So you see how it kind of stretches out as it goes closer to those colors? That's exactly what your eyeballs do, okay? And we can only see in a certain amount of light, and that's why certain amount of the light spectrum itself. So that's why they use the filters. That really explains why we use filters. And not to mention that in certain filters, different gases will show up. Just in that filter. There's his astronaut. Check him out. See? He's just floating around the screen, man. There's one down here on the Earth right here too. These things crack me up. He's even went with the Halloween theme here with Frankenstein. Check him out. I just like the playfulness of it. It's freaking awesome. But yeah, and again, the data's good too because he's just simply showing you the data. So go over here and give this man some love too. Just sub up because it helps people keep going. It really does. So he's a vet. He's a veteran too. So, you know, that should make people really want to support there also. You know, anybody that has served for any kind of armed services, man, I mean, I'm behind him 100%. See how that CME busted off there? He's showing you that with that. So it's pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. So, but yeah. So I wanted to point that out and bring that to you. And also, guys, you guys know, obviously Mark Pires, he's going to be live here. He's probably live right this second. I haven't seen the notification yet, but most likely he's there. I'll probably go hang out there for a minute, and then Tommy's doing a live stream later on here too, in about probably in 45 minutes to an hour. That's over at the Lifeboat. I'm helping him run that channel in the background. I'm doing the technical stuff, and guys, please come over there and check it out. It would mean the world to me. Not only would it be for him too, but it just, man, I can't tell you how much it's changed even the way I think about some things. And I've been in recovery for over 10 years from addiction to pain pills. And, yeah, I mean, it's even added to me is what I'm saying. And so if you know somebody or if you just want to live your best life, it's really more about that than anything. But, obviously a lot of the discussions around addiction, and we've got people popping into live streams that need help and are asking for it, and they get it. So that's what we're saying. People don't get ignored over there, guys. They don't. Somebody pops in there, we're immediate, right on it. And it's not even necessarily Tommy, the captain is what we call him, or me, right? Well, Fi's in here. She's a moderator. And over there too, also, that's how we met. But what I'm saying is, if the moderators or Tommy doesn't see it or it doesn't get addressed, somebody else on the crew there is going to talk to you. It's something that I've never seen before in another YouTube channel. Something's different with this. It feels way different to me, and it's something I believe is going to be pretty special. It already is in a lot of ways. We don't hate people over there. You're never going to get judged. It just doesn't happen. You're going to get help. And, we don't judge even if people fall off, okay? That's not what we're there to do. We're there to help you get picked back up when you do fall, if you do fall. That's what it's for. And so if you know anybody, if you want to get a little bit more knowledge on it, or if you just need help yourself, it's like a big family group. It's really what it is. It's what it feels like. I can't say enough, guys. I really can't. And again, I don't point you guys to people that are negative. I won't. I refuse to do that. I will not do that. I'm not saying that there's people out there that do, present their information in a negative way, that they can't be giving you the correct information. What I'm saying is I'm not going to put you guys over there, because for me, if it's out there in an angry or a hateful way or just talking down to you, I immediately shut off. Okay? So I'm assuming that most people are like that. And that's why I present what I present the way that I do. And I'm telling you, guys, it's like, the Renaissance Man family. It's all positivity. Mark Pires channel. It's all solid positivity. We go over there to the lifeboat. Same thing. People gravitate towards that are like that. And it's very, very obvious that when somebody's like that and they're doing their channel for the right reasons, it's so obvious to see it. And I think that's, because like I said, guys, I'm doing my space weather stuff at the beginning from now on, because I understand that people sometimes don't have the time, but I also want that connection with you guys. I do. Not necessarily just so I can show you guys space weather stuff or anything like that, just because I think that being a positive influence to each other is very important. And we get so much negativity on this stuff, no matter what subject. I've dropped all the stereotypes, going between genre this and genre that. It's the same everywhere. It really blows my mind when I see the cannibalism. It's amazing to me that people are talking about the same stuff, but they're cannibalizing each other by attacking each other. It makes no sense to me. I mean, if we're really trying to help, why would you do that? What's the point? What is the point? Nobody has ever given me an explanation for that, other than one that's just not valid. Period. Just not valid. And I'm not going to point you guys to somebody that's going to do that. I won't do it. Even if I think they've got really good information to share. I won't point you guys. Go through my subscription list. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now, because I haven't done it in a minute, and I want you guys to see it. It's not. I don't hide my subscription list at all. Period. Ever. It's there all the time. So what I'm going to do, look over here on the left. I'll just scroll down. I want you guys to look at everybody I subscribe to. And anybody that's been in this community for a minute is going to understand that there's people there that I still subscribe to that have called me the most vile things, that have attacked me multiple times. I simply am not going to stoop to that level, but I'm also going to use their information because some of it's true. Just saying. But I won't promote their channels. I won't, ever. Never going to happen. Won't do it. So just understand that that's what's going on there. And I've said this for a very long time. And, I hear people saying, well, we got to do this and we got to do that. And that person's over there saying this. And I get upset too when people are out there really saying things that are just so absurd that it really, man. And when you try to help that person that's talking about that, and they just throw it back at you like you're stupid, like they don't want to hear you, without even looking into it. I mean, those kinds of people, man, I have to question why they're doing what they're doing. Should we trust people like that? I don't know. It's okay to make the mistake, but be able to admit it when you do. That's what I'm saying, guys. And I'm talking specifically about space weather channels. I'm not talking about anybody else. That's what I'm talking about, cannibalism. It really is. You'll eat yourself up. I mean, it does. It blows my mind to see what happens. What's going on, Menacing? Hey, Tommy is still here. Was that Julie? Yep. So yeah, guys, I mean, and I'm sorry I went on a little bit of a rant there, but my gosh, man, I mean, how much, when does that stop? When does it stop? And I've come to the conclusion that it's not ever going to. And that's sad to me. It really is sad to me. Hey, Sid, what's up, brother? Rick, Greta. So, yeah. What's up, CW? Going on? Judith. Becca is in the house. Heck yeah. Matthew, what's up, bud? You're right, Matthew. That's a really well worded. Listen to this. Matthew Shipley, the guy's channel I just showed you guys. The truth is far more interesting than sensationalism. So true. Oh my gosh, that's so true. So true. Because, guys, there's enough that is just naturally there. That is so much more interesting than when we got to play things up. We don't need to do it. It doesn't, it takes care of itself. And it's like this, so, you know, the truth does not need defended. Eventually, it's just going to be simply known to be the truth. And let me say this too. There's those out there that talk about certain things or whatever, and if you're going to go against what is accepted fact, then you better bring the receipts with it. What I mean by receipts, you better do a lot of things, especially if you're going to make a huge claim. And that's kind of what I'm saying. And what happens is certain ones will make, or whatever, you'll make a claim, and then you're so far into it, you can't back yourself out of it because you feel like you're going to have your foot in your mouth. Me, when that happens to me, it's never done intentionally, but when that does happen to me, you know, when I make a mistake, just give me the glass of water. I'll wash that foot down. I don't care. And I'm going to come out and I'm going to show you. I'm going to let you watch me drink that foot. So that's what I'm trying to say. If everybody would just do that, the high school drama crap, people running, doing whatever, goes away. Goes away. So, just wanted to say. Yep, exactly, Matthew. Hey, Julie. I think I said hi to you already. Menacing. That's actually that's an interesting thing to look at. Let's do that. They ask if is La Palma and Kilowalu kind of on the same latitude line. I'm not going to get exact here with you guys, but, you know, La Palma's up here. So, I mean, it's not, I don't think it would be exact, but it's actually equatorial at the least here. Yeah. I'm not sure if that has much to do with all that. I guess it could. But if you guys, well, let me do this real quick. I got something cool I can show you guys. I haven't shown it in a minute, but yeah. Let me give me a second, and I'll show it to you guys. Let's Well, oh goodness. Yeah, I can't get to it right now. Sorry. I don't really want to go do it in a Google search here. I guess I could real quick. I don't know. Nah. I'll show it to you guys later. In my next video, I'll show it to you. What I was going to show you was a picture of the Earth without water. And you would be surprised. Completely, most of you guys have probably seen it. But to the subject line that we're talking about here, I would say that if you look at the magma flows and stuff underneath our feet, it's not like it's a complete humongous lake of it that surrounds a core. It's not like that. You got, you know, fissures and stuff that are all over the place. So, yeah. It's so it's kind of hard to like say one latitude line is more susceptible. But I guess it could be. I don't know. That's a great question, though, Menacing. Honestly. Hey, Joanna, what's up? Texas Lady, what's up? Oh, really? That one didn't show up on the USGS? Here, let me add all magnitudes for the day. Yeah, there's nothing plotted there. Huh. Yeah, exactly, Matthew. 100%. Oh, really? High magnitude earthquake watch? Yeah. I think I've seen some reports on, I think was it the west side of it? Maybe the north side of that volcano? The ground around it has sunk 4 inches. That's, yeah. You know things are moving when that happens, for sure. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Oh, see you, Sid. Thanks for stopping in, bro. Sandra Bullock. Did you star in that movie Blindside? I watched that this weekend. Just kidding. Sorry. But yeah, guys, I mean, please go check out that poll. Just to understand, like I said, when I said the moon, I should have worded it better. So I'm just going to tell you, hey, the moon's up there. We'll talk about some of the stuff that's being talked about around the moon, and we can look at that. I've done a lot of research on it, and you know, honestly, I started researching it probably close to a year ago, and it's just, yeah. So if we end up talking about that, we'll talk about it. I'm sure we will at some time anyway. But I wanted to know your guys' opinion on what you guys want to see or talk about. The most popular one right now is the solar cycle itself. And is it going to be stronger, weaker? What's going on there? And those are questions that are great questions that I'm not necessarily going to have 100%. You know, I'm not going to be able to say, hey, this is absolutely going to happen. But, you know, is what it is. Yeah, I thought that's what I seen, Joanna. Yeah, guys, I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, it definitely makes your butt pucker a little bit when you see stuff like that, because it can. Yeah, I'm sure she has a lot of cash flow hanging around. You can be friends with chickens, amazing creatures. You know, I've never been around chickens too much. I eat them a lot. Yeah. Guys, read the Sandcastle 808 Hawaii. Yeah, I mean, read that comment, guys. I said I haven't had too much interaction with chickens, but you know what? I had one just about break my ankle about 8 months ago. Check this out, guys. One of my good friends is this is a funny story, and it has nothing to do with space weather, so I'm sorry. I was helping my friend do some stuff at his lawn care business, and out there at his shop there was a black rooster that just made its home. Don't know why, but it did. And that stupid thing would attack us all the time. And I was getting ready to climb into a truck, and we were getting ready to leave, and I turned around because somebody yelled at me. And when I turned around, that thing was right there, and I tripped over that stupid thing. And I'll tell you what, man. I bet there was an earthquake in China that day when my big butt hit the ground. But it most definitely, yeah. Man, I hurt my leg and I twisted my ankle. It was, yeah. Stupid rooster. But yeah. Finger licking good, 7? Heck yeah. Yeah, I know, it's funny. That's why I share it. It's funny. Hey, what's up, Russ? Huh? Yeah, leg looking good. Heck yeah, that's right. Leg looking good. My daughter just said that. Yeah, guys. Something else. I don't typically ask for this, but I could use some prayers for her. She's sick again. It's like 3 weeks now. Yeah. But guys, I am going to have to pop off here. This is getting close to an hour. You know what happens when I do like an hour live stream? It actually does. My view count isn't as high because people see that and they don't want to click on it. So that's it. So just let everybody know if they're asking. Like if you see a comment in the comment section, you know, why did this thing last so long or whatever? Just kind of put in there politely that, hey, he does his space weather stuff right at the beginning. Not to say that we're not going to talk about it after that, but I want to give everybody the info right at the beginning. So, but I am going to pop off. I'm pretty sure Mark's live right now, guys. You guys want to pop over there, Mark Pires Renaissance Man? I'll probably hang out there for a minute, and then the lifeboat's probably going to go live here in probably 35 minutes. So we'll be over there too. We're going to have an interview tomorrow, so look for that too over at the lifeboat. Go over there and subscribe and hit that bell so you get that notification of the interview. Yeah, good stuff, guys. Really is. We're going to get to know some people that went through some real life stuff, and that's, you know, how much more real can it get? So, just wanted to say. All right, guys. God bless. Yahusha saves, and you can drink this cool.